Well, ladies and gentlemen, the day after UB Bad Battle Royale at Galway Call, I've got to say this is the man with the biggest curve kahunas I've ever met. There's Corey Williams here, who fought Michael the Real Deal Ferry last night. How are we doing, mate?
Good. Good.
Very impressed last night. You're doing a lot better than I thought you would be. How do you think the fight went?
I was a little upset with how a few things went, but all in all, it was all right. For short notice, I did what I could, and I look forward to coming back for a rematch early next year.
Should be good. My old joke is, you'll all see these interviews with Michael, is Michael, what's it like in a second round? Well, that's gone out the window now. First person to take no second round, BKB.
Yes. Mike's got a lot of talent. He's young, he's strong, but he's still got some education to come around. So I look forward to coming back and get another shot at him after I'm here in November. And then I'll be back to take another shot at Mike first part of next year.
Definitely a braver man than me. I mean, Mike, we've thrown some great shots here. You went down a couple of times. Each time you're getting back up, and from what I can say doing the comedy, you just had this manic smile on your face.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
That's just me. I'm just a crazy bastard like that. I like to get hit, and you know, I like it the harder they hit. Mike doesn't hit as hard as people make him out to be, by no means. So, you know, I enjoy it. I relish it. You know, that's just me. Yeah, that ring is my zen, so to speak. It's where I feel at home. You know, and I told Sean when he stopped the fight, don't ever stop a fight on me again. You know, let me die in the ring. That's where I belong. That's my home. Leave me there.
We don't want you to die, Corey. We don't want you to die. I'm going to say, but people don't know a great deal about Corey. He's got an absolutely fantastic boxing background. But what's interesting, Corey, about his homeland of America, he's really passionate about BKB. He's got a company called Who's Your Daddy Promotions, and he's the main company in America, really, that pushes it and pushes it. And Corey will fight any government agency. He'll do it properly with words, and you love the sport. Absolutely.
You know, we have a hell of a battle in legalizing bare knuckle. We started it 7 years ago. 2007 was our first bare knuckle event, and it's been a challenge bringing it along. You know, politics in America are a lot tougher than they are here in the UK. And you know, we're making headway. You know, we've had 9 events now in bare knuckle and done very well. So we're getting close to 5 times the crowd you are here. You know, anywhere from 2,000, 2,500 people. So it's coming along slowly. It's not quite there yet, but it's time for us to start working together across the pond so we can make that next step up. That's necessary to make that next step up into mainstream. And you know, I've come close to the mainstream in America. You know, I've been on CNN and all the major news networks, and we did a pay-per-view event that had 70,000 views. So we're close. We're close to cracking that.
I heard you've also been on a British TV show called Crime Watch as well, is that right?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Look, you're giving them I think you might have been.
No, it was Channel 4's Hard Men. They come and followed me.
That was there was a fight set up, and I know you kept getting moved on. Right. But the police harassment out there. Right. That was when Billy Martin fought Jason Young.
Correct. It ended up being in a garden because of all the politics, and I told them in America, I said, you know, you can work with us and help us do this the right way, or I'll do it the wrong way just to say fuck you, and that's what we did.
I don't know if it's right, but everywhere you went, you had a legal permit to do it. Right. And everywhere you went, some of 6-7 venues that day, the police were coming back with excuses and moving you somewhere else. Right. And when you got there, they were moving you again. Right.
Yeah, that's what they kept doing. And I run them off. I run them off 2 of the properties with my own pistol. You know, you're trespassing. Get off the property.
To be fair, that probably wouldn't help, Corey.
Well, you know, me and the police, we don't.
Probably effective.
Yeah, me and the police, we don't get along real well in America, and that's part of my issues when I came over here. There were some phone calls made that I was an unsightly character and I wouldn't be welcome in the UK. You know, I've always been welcome here. They've always given me headache coming in a little bit, but not like they did this last time. So.
Well, I've got to say, I mean, I'm not mentioning names or anything like that, but it was absolutely disgraceful. It was 13 hours in the airport.
13 hours in immigration. I went through 7 different interviews before they released us. They held everybody in my party even, and they had no reason to. You know, they shouldn't have held Billy and Jason. They have very little association with me. So that part I was pretty upset about. But you know, it's part of the game. You know, all said and done, they gave me a 6-month visa, so when I get back in November, I won't have any headaches. They should be able to let me go right through.
Don't traffic drugs next time you come.
Oh yeah.
I'm only joking, ladies and gents.
They kept telling me that. They said, "Where are you hiding your drugs?" And I pulled out my antibiotics. I have an ear infection. I pulled the antibiotics out, and I said, "Here you go. Here's your drugs."
So how far did it go? Wasn't your cavity search, was it?
No, they didn't quite get to a cavity search, but
thank God for that.
You know, they went through my bags twice, and then both times they had 3 different people go through it, and both times they went through my bags because they thought I had guns or drugs or something. They were informed that I was going to come set up a criminal organization for bare knuckle fighting here in the UK.
Oh, great! Yeah. If anybody wants to join, how can we get involved with this criminal investigation?
Hit me up on Facebook. It'll be fun. We'll get it done.
But as you say, I mean, Corey's been fighting over here tonight for last night even for UB Bad. But there's a good bare knuckle scene in America that's really set up around Corey, Hughes Daddy Promotions. How can people in England find out about that?
I just visit Facebook or visit my website. I got who'syourdaddy.xxx is our website. I get anywhere from 8,000 to 10,000 emails a day.
Yeah.
You know, we have a very good following going around. You know, it's between me and my missus, Creek Robinson. You know, she's really the heart and soul of bare knuckle America.
I'm looking forward to speaking to Creek. From what I've been told, she lives and breathes the sport as well.
She does. Yeah. She does, and she's really the heart behind it, the heart and passion behind it. So
it's a real shame she wasn't over with you.
Yeah, it was. It's.
Will she be traveling next time? Do you think?
She will. She'll be here in November. With all the threats and everything we received with me coming over here, it was. You know, for our children's sake, if something did happen, we didn't want the kids to lose both.
Yeah.
So that's the reason we went
it's
about the
sad
way we did.
for, you know, travelling halfway across the world to represent a sport that you love, that you've got a thing like that. I think it's a disgrace. It
is.
This is a gentleman's sport.
Very much so.
And there's too many dirty tricks.
You know, I'm a man of my word. You might not like the words that come out of my mouth, but I'm definitely a man of my word.
I might not always like what you say, but I listen to what you say, and you make a good argument and respect what you say.
Yeah, you know, and it's and you know, that's part of being respectful and being an adult with things. You know, there's a lot of things I don't agree with that I even see B-Bad do. You know, and I tell them too when I hear it. It's the way it goes. You know?
I think it's good though that maybe B-Bad can learn from maybe your daddy and vice versa.
Right. Yeah. There's I've been careful about the level of fighters I put on because I don't. You know, we're in the infancy of the sport, so it's slowly coming along. You know, I've got a lot of college education. You know, I'm a showman, very much so. As you saw last night, I'm about entertaining the crowd, and that's what it's about. You know, I want a fan to walk out and say, I don't want them to walk out and say, "Man, did you see that fight?" I want them to walk out and say, "Dude, that was fun. Which fight did you like?" I don't know. I just had fun. You know, that means they're going to come back and buy another ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's
anybody on the left-hand side of the ring, I don't think they'll buy another ticket. You did a little tribute to some of the fans, did you?
I did. I bared my whole ass for them. I think it's sadly like that.
Luckily, I didn't see it before I'm being told it was like the moon rising over Japan. What I'll do as well for Who's Daddy Promotions and some information on Corey, I'll put a link across on bbadtv.com website. Some very interesting stuff on that website, and you can see Corey pushes very, very hard in America for the sport he loves and he believes in.
Yeah, for bare knuckle, all combat sports really. I have a unique format I've been working on, which is a cage and a ring side by side. We do boxing, MMA, and bare knuckle all in the same event. And that's worked out very well for us. And it's helped transition us with the politics as well. So ultimately, that's the way we see things going. You know, all our fighters will start in boxing. When they get done with boxing, they go kickboxing to MMA, MMA to bare knuckle, and that's how you become.
It's a good transition to build skills.
Right, build skills. You build your skills that way, and develop true champions. You know, and that's Billy's a good testament to that. You know, he's done very little boxing. Went to kickboxing, went into MMA, and you saw how.
But he's got a massive amount of talent.
Right. Yeah.
And he's a youngster lad. And he came over here and beat my friend. Open my mind. That's the fake game. But I've got to say, speaking to Billy Martin, he's absolutely cracking lad.
Yeah.
Absolutely cracking lad. I'm all broken for Scott, but he's cracking lad.
Yeah, Billy's a good kid. He's got a lot of talent, and he's young like Mike. You know, he's 25 years old, so he's got a big upside in the sport.
I'm not old, Corey. I can't remember 25.
I don't remember 25 real well either. I think I was fighting then, but
well, you're not that much older. A lot of people think you're a lot older than you actually are.
Right.
Am I right? You're 36.
36 years old. Yeah.
A lot of people think you're a hell of a lot older.
Yep. Yeah.
I've had an argument with a few people. No, he's younger than me. Get away.
Yeah.
And then I haven't got boyish good job, but I don't know. Maybe it's the hair.
It's grey hair, probably. I don't know.
Bad paper around.
I've been around. I've lived a hard life. You know. It's, I've been up and down, in and out of jail. I've never been convicted of any major crimes, but it hasn't stopped them from trying.
Yeah.
So I've lived a tough life, and I grew up in an orphanage, and I'm a self-made man in every aspect that I can be. So it shows in my body. My body's beat up. I've got 100. That was my 108th fight last night. I've been around a long time.
But that's 108 fights across just about every combat sport discipline you could think of as well.
Right. Boxing, kickboxing, MMA. I've been to the UFC. I've fought in K1. I've been all over the world. I've fought outside of the United States 19 times. That's only my second loss.
Sparring partner twice, my all-time hero, I believe. Are you Mike Tyson?
Yeah. I've sparred with Mike Tyson. I've sparred with Rampage Jackson, with James Toney. I spent 2 years as James Toney's sparring partner.
What was Tyson like?
He's very pleasant. He's not much taller than you, believe it or not.
He's about half an inch taller than me.
Yeah, he's not much taller than you. So, the first time I sparred with him, I was a little scared. I was, it's Mike Tyson, and he was at the end of his career. He was kind enough to move around with me. It wasn't really live sparring. He just gave me some rounds because it was Mike Tyson. Of course, I was going to get in the ring with him. But
well, to be fair, I'd fly all the way to America and get in the ring with Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
And when I came out of a coma, I'd be able to say I sparred with Mike Tyson.
I got my ass kicked by Tyson.
Yeah, that's it.
I come out of the corner covering my head.
But you've done it.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to mention as well, I'm not quite sure, is it you call the pig pen that you've got in your promotion?
Right.
It's a ring, more of a rectangular shape, but it looks very, very different to what you would see in the UK.
Right.
It's built out of wood.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, is it true you got the idea you went to somebody's farm and seen the pig pen?
Yeah. I like to raise some of my own food. And growing up, that was part of our education at the orphanages. We raised all of our own food. So I've always had pigs and cattle, just for my own use. And I was on my way to work, and went out to feed my pigs. And on my way out to work, and I had a motion light up on a telephone pole, and I built the pen out of pallets, wooden pallets, and I had 2x4 rails that the pallets were nailed to. And I went to dump the slop, and something behind me moved, and a light went off, and I looked up at the light, and I looked down and seen the 2x4s coming across with the pigs in the pen. And I was trying to figure out something to do that was different, that would set it apart from boxing. To fall under boxing rules wouldn't be good for bare knuckle. That they would shut it down and end up being boxing again. So I was trying to come up with something that would set it apart, and then I looked up at that light going off and looked down at the 2x4s and back up at the light, and I went, I want to make a pig pen, and that's what I did. I got some oil field pipe and cut the 4 lengths, and
when I first seen it, I thought, no, that cannot work. But then I watched fights in it, it does seem to work.
It does, yeah. The part of it is making it smaller. Part of the transition to boxing was the fights became boring. So in order to make the fights more exciting, you put them in a smaller area. If a guy's in your face like we are right now, you're gonna fight him. It's just all there is to it. And so we made that smaller area. With it, we've done some modifications to there is 2x4s in it, but we've wrapped those 2x4s in vinyl, and we've notched all the 2x4s so that they actually flex when you fall on them, so they won't break.
That's what it needs. Well, I think a lot of people comment that a fight that went hard through there and it broke, then it could be originally cutting them or stabbing them, but you've made sure that's okay.
And that's part of the purpose of the vinyl that's wrapped around it, so on and so forth. And it works out very well. A lot of people, even when B-Bad came over to our show in last March, they said the same thing. He walked in and looked at it, he says, "You're going to kill somebody." I said, "Just relax and watch it." By the second fight, he comes up and said, "Brilliant, man. It's brilliant. It works wonderful." And it does. It's when you design staging like that, you have to adjust your rules a little bit for that staging as well. So that's why we went back. That's why we went back to the scratch, toe the line.
Well, that's what I was going to mention as well. I think you're quite a fan of that. Starting off from the scratch, toeing the line.
Right.
That's the way I think it should be personally.
Yeah.
I think it makes for a better fight all the way around.
It does.
You're quite a sort of advocate of that as well.
Right. Yeah, and it's that that I tried to keep it as original as possible. Keep it as close to the original bare knuckle as possible, with some slight modifications for entertainment and safety. And towed the line, very much a good thing. Rounds, I don't agree with. I don't think we need to have rounds. It needs to be a fight to the finish. That the addition of rounds, all that does is give you a chance to recover, so you can keep fighting. Fatigue is a safety factor.
I think personally, rounds, especially in this country, it's helping to be better received and less licensing issues and things like that. And it's not that we are doing either, but I think there's certain things we need to adapt to, to come to great venues like this.
And I think rounds for your preliminary bouts might be a good idea. You maybe go back, slowly transition back to last man standing for the title fights or something along those lines. Would make sense.
Well, I'd say we'll be bad. It's normally 3 2-minute rounds, title fights 5 2-minute rounds. I think that's a really good idea for title fights.
I was surprised by the 2-minute rounds, to be honest with you. That's barely enough for me to get warmed up. I'm a late round fighter. That's just always been so to come in and do a short sprint like that. It's not my gig. It's not tailored for me personally. I think
that'll be quite interesting. Maybe looking at single rounds for title fights.
Yeah, doing a last man standing for a title fight, and then doing it the old way in that aspect. The few modifications I made with the pig pen, because of the rails around the outside, I added to, if you're knocked out of the ring, you lose. It's a KO loss. So that keeps people away from the rails as well. Keeps them in the center of the ring fighting. Just make some slight modifications for that purpose.
Well, that's how it was a completely new thing. This pig pen idea. It's going to be modified all the way along. And I wasn't even sure when I built it, when I got done. Our first order video of it on YouTube was on pause. It was one of yours. I thought, my good God, they can't fight in that. and it worked, but I've got to see how much the fight. It worked really well. It gave for a different kind of experience.
The fans like it.
I think when people first look, I think it must be one of your more original ones, and you could see that it was wood and it was less sort of covered and decorated as it is. And I thought, no, we can't fight in there, but it did seem to work really well.
It did, and it was an odd idea where it came up with, and it was an experiment as we went.
That's how all the great ideas grow.
And that we've modified it a little bit as we've gone, but the original idea is still pretty well solid. And we've done it's done us very well. We've done 6 shows now in that pig pen, and we've sold out every event. I didn't even call it the pig pen. They've come up with that on their own. They've likened it that way on their own. So the
that proves the likeness. We've got the name for it.
Right. So it's been nice. It's something different, and it sets the sport apart. And that's part of where we were having trouble with the transition in America, with the legalities of it, is they were trying to associate it as boxing. Bare knuckle is not boxing, and that's the point. It needs to be separated. For it to be able to stand and make it into mainstream, and that's the route we've gone with it. We do have a time limit. It's 10 minutes per fight. At that point, it goes to the most knockdowns wins is your tiebreaker, and that's just the way we've ran with it in America, and it's worked out very well for us. We haven't had any fights go to the 10-minute mark yet. I've come the closest at 9:41. But it's been entertaining.
Well, what's 19 seconds between friends?
Huh?
What's 19 seconds between friends? So we're going to see you back here on November the 7th.
Correct.
Unfortunately, we're not at liberty to say what that fight will be, but I know what that fight is, and I promise, ladies and gentlemen, it's huge, and it's somebody everyone will want to see. Absolutely cracking fight.
I'm excited for it. It's been announced on Facebook a few times. There's been quite a bit of talk of it, but
it hasn't been officially announced, so I'm not saying.
It is signed, sealed, and we're ready to rock with it. And I'm excited to come back. I like to consider. I call myself a god. I tell people all the time that I'm God.
No, I'm God.
I'm God. I tell them that all the time. And with that said, to be able to get in the ring with a fighter of that caliber that's considered a legend, I look forward to. It'll be really the pinnacle of my career. I think it's. I've been in the ring with a lot of people on short notice. It'll be nice to get in the ring with somebody and actually have a full training camp to prepare. So.
Well, that's it. You took the show with You took the fight with Michael. What, it was 7-8 weeks notice?
No, 3.
3.
Yeah.
Very close.
Yeah.
After that probe from Canada pulled out. Never mind. This is a real man, not you, Mr. Haig, if you're watching. After that, have you got anything lined up? We were chatting earlier on. Are you actually looking for a rematch of?
Yeah, that was part of my agreement in taking the fight on short notice.
Yeah.
You know, we didn't talk money, anything like that. I asked for two things. I wanted a rematch, should I lose, and I still wanted my November 7th opponent to stay the same, and that was part of my agreement. So I'll come back November 7th and put on a good show for you guys again, and then the first part of next year I'll be back to give Michael a little bit more education.
Well, you're a braver man than me. I didn't say it, Michael, when you're watching. Going in with them once, someone else and smiling, but going in with them twice.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what to say.
Go in there once with a smile on my face and walk out with a smile, and I'll go in with a smile this time as well. And this time I'll have 6 months to train. So, you know, I took 5 years away from the sport entirely, and so I'm just barely starting to get my legs back under me and get in shape. And I didn't have much of a training camp. Basically, all I did was swim a little bit to get in shape. So it give me some time to get in condition, and we'll give it another go.
I know something we were chatting about last night. It's a lot of viewers home will have seen. At one point, you picked Michael up and sort of tried to throw him to the edge of the ring. What was that for? It was something completely. I mean, we'll go back to the conversation we had last night. And he said, "Oh, what did you think of that?"
Yeah.
Personally, I think it was wrong.
Well, my game plan. It was part of my game plan was to make it a little bit of a dirty fight. That's what bare knuckle is. You know, it's dirty boxing. It's old school boxing, and the way he came out, there was a few things that happened when he came out that I wasn't very happy with.
Yeah.
And to take back control of the fight, I took back control of the fight, and that was part of it. And I was just starting to get my wits back about me. I was having a hard time seeing, and so and getting that back with taking control of the fight, quieting the crowd, you know, entertainment purposes on top of that. Everybody talks about how strong Michael was, how big he is, and everything else. And I think in that aspect, to a point, I exposed him. He's not as big and strong as everybody thinks he is. You know, by no means.
Yeah.
Even himself, I think he might be a little bit surprised at how I was able to handle him. You know, even to the point of picking him up and throwing him in the corner.
Yeah.
You know,
do you not think really there should be some kind of penalisation for that though?
What's that?
Do you not think there should be some penalisation for that? I mean, it's clearly.
Well,
not,
there should have been some penalization from the start of the fight. I think. You know, you know that I was prepared to go 5 rounds. I'm in good enough condition to go 5 rounds, and I would have took him 5 rounds had the fight not started the way that it did. I have no doubt. So you know, there should have been some penalization right out the gate, and I had every intention of making it a rough fight. Yeah. But it was really their part that made it dirty to start with.
What respect was that?
There's just certain things you don't use in a boxing match. You know, Vicks Vapor Rub, Icy Hot, foreign compounds that you put on. You just don't do that. Have you ever gotten Vicks in your eyes?
I'll be very, very surprised, to be honest. I mean, I know Michael well and his corner team, and they're not that kind of team.
I don't know that it was intentional. I'm not saying that it was. It just right out the gate, I had Vicks Vapor Rub in my eyes, and I couldn't see anything. You know, it's tough to fight. It's tough to fight when you don't see the fist until it's 12 inches from your face. You know, that's why I stayed tight. I kept him tight because I can feel him fight at that point. Yeah. You know, and I couldn't see him, so I had to be able to feel him. And I was my eyes were just coming back where they were clearing up a little bit for me to stand and fight, and when they stopped it. So I'm not saying it was intentional by no means, but at the time I saw it very much as being it was very much being a dirty thing that had transpired, and that's why I was so upset. I mean, if you noticed in the fight, I kept backing up, and I couldn't see him. You know, it's hard to fight, especially a guy as big and strong as Michael is. It's hard to fight him when you can't see him. And you know, to be
fair, it'd be hard for me to fight him anyway. Love you, Michael. Please don't hit us. Nah, he's a cracking lad. I mean,
he's very respectful
like that.
The
2 guys who are doing his corner, I know them very well, Mal and John.
Yeah.
And I really don't think anything That would
And
have been
I talked to him.
intentional,
I talked to him afterwards. You know,
Yeah.
there's no hard feelings. It's you know, things happens. It's part of the sport. I'm not upset about it by no
Yep.
means. I'll come back, get another crack at it later, and we'll go from there. It's like I said, I don't believe it was intentional. I don't see Mike doing that. And a little bit of talking I've had with him, he's too respectful of a man for that.
The two cornermen, that's it, I know them personally as well.
Yeah.
They're the same as well.
The cornermen I don't know that well. I mean, I spoke to Mike quite a bit more, but regardless of whether it was intentional or not, it happened. You know, I got something in my eyes. It was either Vicks Vapor Rub or Icy Hot. And that's an old boxing trick. I mean, I've done it to people over the years. You know, it's nothing. That's part of why I was as mad as I was.
Yeah.
I was as mad as I was because I've done that to people. You know, it's with my fighters. So, not that it was not. You know, I don't believe that they did it intentionally, but it still altered my ability to fight. So the next go.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there with Michael and I wasn't there with Marlon John in the corner. But I would stake my life nothing was intentional done.
Yeah, I don't.
Knowing all three lads.
Yeah, I don't. You know, like I said, I don't believe it was, but it happened. It just you know, that's why I was having a hard time. That's when you watch the tape, you'll see me doing that, rubbing my eyes, trying to, you know, because I couldn't see him. You know, especially out of this eye. It was 3, 4 o'clock this morning before I could see out of that eye, and it's not because of the black eye. You know, it's not closed. There's no damage.
Well, I think I was talking to you from about 4:45 or something till 6 this morning.
Yeah.
And we're just getting the vision back into there.
Yeah.
It didn't stop you nipping down the after party though, Corey, did it?
Oh God, no. I got no problem having a pint or two. That's for sure.
We certainly know that. Well, it's absolutely great talking to you. It's nice to meet you finally, and it's nice to see you still alive after fighting the real deal yourself.
Oh yeah. I look forward to another shot at it.
You're mad. Absolutely mad. Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing it as well.
Yeah, it'll be.
There will be a full announcement on the I think it's the 7th of November card. We're just not mentioning it in the minute, but I promise you, you'll be seeing this gentleman against a bit of a legend in this country, and you will love it. Thank you very much, Corey. You're a gent.
Thank you, sir.
Meet you soon, mate.
Yeah.